So, Kay, I'm very happy to see you here. Thank you for joining me at BIM's Eventalks.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure to be here.
Could you please tell a bit about what you're doing in the industry? How did you get to the events and what you're doing now?
Right now, I am taking care of my digital marketing agency, which is Parket Digital. And to start with, uh, I was into marketing. I would say cliche form of marketing, which used to happen. So I was taking care of all the sales side and marketing side, and event was part of it. And gradually, event industry was something which tempted me more, and I moved into the event part, and it was like part of my forte to organize the things, to plan out the things. And because I'm talking about like 10 to 12 years before, where events were like only physical, there was like very
Mm-hmm.
minimalistic sort of the virtual things. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, so gradually it was the good transition. And I in my short tenure of like 10 to 12 years, I did a lot of events. We did trade shows, we did concerts, we did festivals, and a lot of things. And it's a quite whole round experience in itself. We hosted a lot of celebrities and everything. So event industry was something in which I moved. But when the COVID struck, and gradually every industry is evolving, and so does the event industry and marketing industry. There is a tremendous change in the graph if you look from past 10 years, and every sort of things have been digitalized.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And you have very interesting formats like concerts and festivals. It's usually more often I talk to people who host like conferences or webinars on business events, and concerts and festivals really interesting.
So I was working with Northeast today, and with a lot of
Sorry,
companies.
it's my cat.
uh,
Okay.
I'm pet friendly person. I have a dog at my place.
Cool.
Just telling you. So I was working with event companies and with media house basically, and definitely conferences, webinars. These were
Mhm.
the parts, but these concerts and everything were also added in my forte, and we did it for a lot of our patrons and sponsors. So it's a, like if you look about the portfolio, it's like whole round of a things.
Mhm.
Right, my things and my luck in a lot of things. So I had like a lot of experience in these things, and but as event industry sounds charming, but at the same time, it takes so much of toil because a lot of unexpected things can happen at any time. I always say event
Yeah.
is an unexpected happening.
For me, actually, it's very interesting to talk to you since I'm a marketer. And of course, I'm interested in learning something new about event management metrics, event marketing metrics. So I'd like to ask you something about evaluation of virtual events, first of all, and or about events in general. How should we evaluate them? Which metrics should we use? Uh, which digits should we think about when hosting the event?
Okay, so if we talk event industry has definitely changed. Things have
Mm-hmm.
grown from physical to the virtual side. Uh, that's true. But for an event, like I certainly believe it's the process is almost same. It
Mm-hmm.
starts with planning, and there is a quote which always people say for the event industry: if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So for both the scenarios, planning is definitely important. And while planning and understand, there should be like clarity in the objective, why you are planning a certain event, so what is the objective behind it. Then if you talk, there should be timeline which should be established. There should be creative ideas and themes how to make your event out of box and interesting. Definitely budget should be there, which should be kept in mind how you will take care of the things. And these are the basic pillars for organizing any event. And like for the virtual thing, virtual events, the first five pillars would be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And later, which we need to finalize, okay, virtual event is something which give us much larger audience, much larger tracks, and the horizon is unlimited. The we are not bound
Mm-hmm.
by any geographical region. Okay, now, right now we are chatting, we are having a show. This is also a kind of event which we are doing. So there is no geographical boundary. And similarly, if you talk about the webinars or conferences or networking events, all those things can break any kind of boundaries. First five pillars would be the same, but later things would be how to engage your audience. That is the most
Mm-hmm.
important part, because in virtual events, this is like, I would say, a bit more difficult to engage the audience, because as per the studies, people have like 30 seconds to like 150 seconds of the attention span. I would say like 2 minutes are more than enough to keep someone engaging and with full attention. So you need to keep all those things like right on point from beginning to the end. Like what should be the agenda, how you will pull the attraction, how you will keep your audience engaged, what kind of activities you want to do in your virtual event. These days, event gamification is something which is quite
Mm-hmm.
in to engage the audience. There are like multiple kind of games, like Wordle is there, or puzzles are there. So you can talk about your things, and suppose if we are having any kind of webinar or any kind of networking in between, we can keep up those short breaks which will uh, draw the attention back, and there would be some interesting getaway for your audience, and they can keep themselves involved. And but the best part with the virtual events and virtual platform is that with virtual platform you can definitely keep lot of things in track. This
Mm-hmm.
whole process is all about one thing which is called data, and virtual events give you that liberty to get hold of these things. And as you said, as you were saying actually, like in virtual events, if anything messes up, you can like you have more options to correct those things. And
Yeah, yeah.
I would say virtual events are more like stand-ups. Have you
Mm-hmm.
like stand-up comedy? If your joke is not working, you can like rework and looking at the audience. Okay, I should
Yeah.
try this thing. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the liberty of your of the virtual events, where we can
Mm-hmm.
improvise things right on time, right during the event, and we can change the full scenario.
Mm-hmm. May I ask, you said about the engagement and also everywhere in the industry we talked about the engagement of the participants, that it's very important and they should be engaged. And as a marketer, how do you measure the engagement? Which approach we have to understand how much is the engagement rate? How can I measure it?
Okay, so like supposedly, if you are organizing any kind of event, and I would say virtual event, we are talking about
Mm-hmm.
completely virtual things, because post COVID, the things have been quite dragged towards the virtual side.
Mm-hmm.
So before organizing any event, there should,
Mm-hmm.
like as we were talking about, there is an agenda. So you should be having certain number in mind, like how much audience you want in your event to be participating in the event.
Mm-hmm.
So the key game is, if you want, like suppose X number of or N number of participants in your event. So does the number of registrations are coming up for the event?
Mhm.
Like if we are targeting and we are like half of the number, so definitely we are unable to market it properly, we are unable to reach to the right audience. Or there is some we are reaching, there are impressions on the event page, but people are not registering. So there we can work out, okay, the what is that factor which is not making people to do the registrations, and there is something which we are missing out. And definitely we for organizer, this should be an heads up. Okay, if your theme is not appealing to the audience, that's why it is not, people are not registering. So there
Mhm.
should be due diligence should be done, and changes should be made accordingly so that people should register. And there should be control of both the things. There should not be under registrations, over registrations, because organizing something with a lot of audience or extra audience or a lot of people, it again become to it more towards the unorganized sector. So the first thing would be the registrations and the number of impressions coming to your page. And while having an event, you can see how, if we are having any kind of activity, or like I participate in a lot of networking events. So what happens, most of the audience, this is the agenda. If we are talking
Mhm.
about or any particular scenario, and I have like 250 audience in front of me, and I am talking about any certain topic, and in like 3 to 4 minutes, people will start losing those things. So I have
Mhm.
to build that thing. I have to put activities in between and see how many people are actively participating. Suppose there are surveys, there can be in between questions, there can be live tweets which we can do during the event. So nowadays platforms give like wide opportunities. There is a
Mhm.
gala buffet out there. You just have to pick and choose. Okay, this thing can be interesting for my event. Okay, I can have the surveys, I can have the questions, I can have some engage like a lot of engager activities. So the
Mhm.
participation in those engager activities are the key matrix where you can see my audience is with me right now, or I have missed that touch.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that we should like, those are the key metrics which we can see. Yeah.
Modern platforms give the opportunity to get the data, participants' data, everything, and how should we analyze it? Like, do you have special tools, or I don't know, you create a Excel file with with the analytics of the audience, or how does it look like?
So I believe like with the platforms, if
Mm-hmm.
we are analyzing, or definitely if there is a certain kind of activity or any engager which we are doing, so all the report sums up post event into an Excel format,
Mm-hmm.
because it all depends on the platform which you are using, and
Mm-hmm.
what kind of range it is giving or services which you can get. Because beforehand, before organizing any kind of event, you can see there would be uh, demonstration of the services. You can go for the demonstration, and you can see that if I am organizing certain kind of event, so which is the best platform which can help me to
Mm-hmm.
gather all those metrics, and getting those reports in the likable format. It can be spreadsheet, it can be CSV, it can
Mm-hmm.
be Excel. Is very, it depends on the requirement of the host.
Mm-hmm.
So you should do your due diligence with the platform. But I certainly see like the most of the platforms, I was going through your website for the beams, and trust me, in this event industry, I've seen a lot of platforms, and I found it quite interesting. There are like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
images which you give components like streams, discussion, networking, trade shows, entertainment, and much more. So I am the one who is looking forward to book a demo over there, and because I am keen on learning how do you guys do it, what is your agenda behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it depends on platform to platform
Yeah,
and
sure.
requirement of the host.
Mm-hmm.
Because in general, like in a lot of networking events, I have seen people only bother about like emails and contact details of the participants. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in other events, like in trade shows, I just want to know what I want from my audience so that I can keep it in a record and so that I can use it later for my marketing thing. So it all depends on the agenda of the host and the kind of event. But you should definitely do your due diligence, and booking those demos will definitely give you a clarity what platform is capable of doing.
Question for you as a marketing specialist. The one of the big problem is attraction of the participants. So, which tools do you recommend to use to attract people to the virtual event? What can we use?
Okay, so as we are having this brand to brand thing, I would like not to call any particular brand thing over here, but like while organizing an event or having any kind of networking sort, I what I personally try to use is the key is the event gamification.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of platforms which you can utilize to embed those gamifications in while
Mm-hmm.
or during your event.
Mm-hmm.
So there are specialized platform for those things, and which provide lot of activities like engager activities, especially which
Mm-hmm.
requires audience equal attention
Mm-hmm.
and participation to uh, get through those things, and those are same time entertaining, and it also require intelligent questions of the audience. So all
Mm-hmm.
those engager activities, without pointing out any name, I would say we use a lot of gamification activities.
Mm-hmm.
There is a difference. I just don't want to put it like gamification is all about entertainment thing. No, those are not only about entertainment things. Those keep your audience live over there. They
Mm-hmm.
keep those attention spam over there, and definitely I can send you a lot of links which we use, which we participate. And there
Mm-hmm.
is a company especially for which we are doing the marketing and all sort of digital marketing in North America, which specializes in event gamification.
Mhm. Can you give some examples? What kind of gamification? What could it be, like quests or I don't know, tests? The
Okay.
usual games that we have in physical worlds. Like what?
Okay, we generally go with Engamio as a company, and the games which we utilizes are word search.
Mm-hmm.
So during an event, word search is something which definitely require the attention of the audience, and there
Mm-hmm.
is a very interesting thing which is called the map engager.
Mm-hmm.
Map engager is in which we are doing any networking sort of event, and it shows on a live map from which geographical area the participant
Mm-hmm.
is participating, and you can take your selfie over there and you can put up.
Mm-hmm.
It will draw a virtual map of the pictures with your location. So that's a quite a cool feature where we can see, okay, I am based in Canada, I am talking to someone in Croatia, there is someone in Jordan, there is someone in India,
Mm-hmm.
someone in Russia. So this is a very cool feature.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, these are the two most important ones which we use. Otherwise, there are like number games are there. There are like TikToks are tic-tac-toes are there, and other lot of activities are there from even gamification thing which we can use. Scrabble is there. So all these things help and binds the audience. Okay, what is next thing which is coming up? Word search is definitely the most popular one, where we put up the things, and it keeps your audience with you during that event.
I wanted to ask something about community building.
Community building. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the community that is building around the event. For example, you have an event annually, one time a year, and but you have a community that communicate all the year and get together why the event happens. But they communicate also in different time too.
Yes, so I am part of a lot of communities, and this
Mm-hmm.
is actually exactly where we say networking comes in. So
Mm-hmm.
what happens? There are small clusters, and I'll give you an example. I'm recently participated in in a networking event, and those are part of the small business ventures. And there are small clusters, which they say there are small circles which they make. I am like geographically based in Toronto, so Toronto GT Ontario area is something where like
Mm-hmm.
different business people will be participating. So they have different circles. They have one in Toronto, they have one in Calgary. So all these things build up their own small communities. This cluster is a community in which different
Mm-hmm.
people from different business background would be participating, and they will be talking, and uh, on a very regular basis it would be promoting each other. So it's like a community which will be, suppose I am from a marketing background and there is someone who is from a different background. So in a community it becomes equally are equally responsible for promoting each other.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely once in a year there is an agenda to have the gala meet, where like people from all the circles and clusters will meet up. And so right now things were virtual, so we used to do it on like quarterly basis, not on an annual basis. Every quarter all the clusters will meet,
Mm-hmm.
and okay, because now there are the one of the most important benefit is like there is no boundary. You can do business from any place and any part of the world. So with this cluster things, definitely when we do two or more clusters meeting, new perspective, new business ventures, and the new promotions activities comes up. Because these community things try to, okay, it takes a lot of time and toil, but definitely the result is that you have to be persistent with your thing, and the client or the audience which you get is for a long term.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
and it creates this kind of attachment. Community building creates an attachment, and you feel like, okay, I am part of this circle, so it is equally my responsibility. And you have that soft corner, and you can say you feel more responsible about your community thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I recently started it, but I really love it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are people in our community which are like more than 80, and there is a very good writer in it. There is all different sort of people which gel up, network, share their thoughts, and some way or other they try to uplift your things. And so for us, we are marketers, and our host is based for that event is based in Calgary right now, and
Mm-hmm.
trust me, that community has grown to 560 people right now. It's a huge
Mm-hmm.
community, and people, I see very enthusiastic people. And in that community thing, we also give and take out the demo classes, give you free services, how you can improve your marketing, but every person from their own industry comes up and share their views, how they can help and evolve people. It can be both paid and parties, anything you can do. But it's a great experience in itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Interesting. How do you think what is more effective for reaching goals, physical or virtual events?
Oh, I definitely feel like virtual events have way more horizons, way more.
Hmm.
And
But some people say that in-person events gives like more real feelings, and people are closer, and so you are more ready uh, to make some target actions, like um, to subscribe to any paid courses, or to buy something. So, like in terms of reaching goals, uh, somebody somebody believes that physical events are more effective. What do you think?
so I definitely respect everyone's point of view, but
Uh-huh.
as in marketer, what my point of view is, we are in this virtual and digital thing, and
Mm-hmm.
with like gradually there is okay. If you talk about from past 5 years, the scenario has changed to completely digital, and
Mm-hmm.
COVID was like final nail in the coffin, and it has made people to realize physical thing is just in back of your mind. You can do
Mm-hmm.
all those things virtually, sitting at your home. What you
Mm-hmm.
can go and dress up and do physically. Definitely, physical meetings and physical things keep like it add certain flavor to it, but there is nothing which we are missing out or making things. We okay, I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
We are into marketing business, and we work globally. And
Mm-hmm.
we are recently dealing with a very good Turkish client, and last time we had a good business in Russia. So this is all because of this virtual thing, because it has broken the boundaries. If you talk about the physical things, I definitely believe it would be impossible for us to go there and to have those sort of things. So physical, if you like leave certain scenarios where like only physical is important, okay, I would say having those concerts and every kind of party kind of feeling where you want to go and do all those engaging activities is definitely where you can go for the physical things. But if you talk about the
Mm-hmm.
webinars, networkings, and events where you share your knowledge, and where you interact with right kind of like-minded audience, you don't need any kind of physical sort of things. Virtual events will get you a lot of traction, and with the time and energy you will be able to reach much more like-minded people, and it is like way more powerful, way more controlled, and
Mm-hmm.
definitely you will gather from like minimalistic approach, the because physical events require a lot of physical framework as well. You need to decide the venue, you need to decide the plan, you need to dress up, and food should be there. In virtual event, your spend would be on the softwares and anything, but
Mm-hmm.
if you will work right on your key agendas, what you want to talk about, and you want to and if you successfully engage your audience, you will definitely gather much more traction out of it.
Mm-hmm. I see. And as a marketer, how do you think which mistakes organizers of the events, which mistakes they do?
Okay, as an organizer, what I see, what people do is like brainstorming on the idea.
Mm-hmm.
See, I always like talk about only one thing. It everything or anything starts with an idea. If
Mm-hmm.
you have a strong idea, so start working on it. Gather your things around it,
Mm-hmm.
because, as I said before, planning is the most important part. Because something which is tempting you right now, it not necessarily mean it should be like equally tempting for me as well. So if you have certain thing in mind, be open about it, talk to people, and gather
Mm-hmm.
as much thought as you can. So what mistake people do is that they think of an idea and they believe that what I am thinking is like everyone will connect with it. But people have different mindset. So start working on your idea, gather the thoughts, run your idea with your team, and go for the planning phase. What most of the people, most of the event organizers do, they miss the planning. And what happens with those events? Uh, they have a good start. They miss out. Okay, I have decided to do certain things, but I have to figure out, because as told you, there are like certain pillars of any kind of event. You should have an idea, you should have core planning behind it. After that core
Mhm.
planning comes the budget scenario and the kind of audience you are targeting. Because I believe if you are doing an event, so keeping those things to any industry specific, how deep down the funnel you will go, it would become more
Mhm.
successful.
Mhm.
Having anything open to a larger audience have more chances of making it, I won't say high chances of failure, but definitely it making things more niche, make your life easy. Trust me on this thing, because if we are doing any kind of uh, making the industry specific or any particular kind of audience, you can't have okay, I can't gel up. People have different age limits, or people of different age limits have their different mindset.
Mhm.
So having learn about your audience, what is my apt audience, what kind of audience I'm looking for my event. Because it is about, I believe that marketing is about marriage of thoughts. When
Yeah.
your concept reaches the right audience,
Mhm.
hang on, you made the first thing. Your first impact is very important. So run your idea, run your thought, plan about it, and reach the right audience. When you will reach the right audience, now you have to put those elements. How I will keep those audience involved with me. So people mistake with their planning, with their thoughts, and they misses about their audience, and brutally they fail about how to keep them engaged. They have
Mhm.
to learn about one most important thing. It's all about science. It's about the engagement people have. It's all about certain duration. You can't come up and give it 20. It's not about TED Talks. Like TED Talks and giving 20 minutes lecture, and people, there would be something interesting which people zone out, and people miss
Mhm.
the bus. And while missing the bus, if they are missing the bus, so definitely they are not coming up for the next time.
Mhm.
So put all those activities, put all those engager. There should be step by step plan. If I am having a 20-minute session, so my 20 minutes, where there would be an equal breakup of my all 20 minutes. So what people misses out is this thing, their timeline, their planning, and their audience. If they plan these things perfectly, they can go ahead with anything.
Yeah, I totally agree as a marketer about the audience and correlating the. Uh,
See, the thing is, the things have definitely moved from physical to virtual, and industry have changed. But
mhm.
the thought process, or the way the people think, is constant.
Mhm.
Because from past my 12 years of experience, definitely things have evolved. We have Twitter, we have platforms like Beams is there, we have engager activities, but the
Mhm.
people who are participating, or we are marketing for the people,
Mhm.
have certain thought process and mindset. So
Mhm.
people behavior, you have to learn about the behavior of your audience, and how, because right now with the transition, I would say the more of the youth, the patience level has definitely decreased.
Mhm.
They want action every time. They
Mhm.
want, because people used to learn about, and keep, the patience level was much higher before, but
Mhm.
right now with the new people, the youths coming up, it is decreased. So we have to keep them more involved. There should be all the actions at the time. I hope you're connecting with me what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, 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 sure, and I totally agree with you. Could you please give one advice to the event organizers in 2022?
Okay, so my
Apart from what we talked, apart from the things we talked about already.
so I guess it was all sort of advice and all the
Yeah,
advice, everything you nectared from me. But apart from this, what I would like to say to event organizers of 2022,
mm-hmm.
uh, try to evolve yourself with time, with scenario. Don't stick to the things that okay, only physical is the thing or virtual is the thing. Trust me, try to evolve yourself and give your audience the kind of feed they want, and don't stuck and don't be reluctant on your ideas. If you will move and if you will have your own gradual transition as well, things will become more easy to you. If
Mm-hmm.
you will be sticking to your old thought process, old school things, it life will become more tough. So try evolving. And every industry, in marketing industry, there is one thing: you can never learn enough.
Yeah.
So there is out hell of a knowledge, because there is no set recipe for anything. This industry is ever evolving, and with you, with me, everyone have to keep learning and updating themselves if they want to, like, be there and they want to stay longer. And if you think you have learned everything, you are out of the game. So
Yeah.
evolve with time, keep learning. Learning curve is very much important in marketing, event, or any sort of industry. So this is my key advice: give yourself time and try to gain, because a lot of things are coming up. You will get all those ideas from learning what new sort of things are coming. Right now I'm talking to you about the beams, and if we talk about, you will be giving me certain kind of new perception what is going on in the world. Because definitely if you are trying to launch this uh, product in the market, so there would be thought behind it. So
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts will be a learning for me, how I
Mm-hmm.
can utilize it in my industry, how I can use this tool to, okay, I can come up with my audience and say, okay, this is something interesting, we should try it.
Mm-hmm.
So be open, don't stick to any one particular thing, be open and learn things. That's my key advice.
Yeah, cool. Thank you so much. I talk a lot to event industry representatives as you, and I'm very happy to hear the importance of the audience and the importance of being open. And I'm really happy to hear it because if many people from the industry think so, I believe we have a great future in our industry. We will be developing a lot. So it's really pleasure to hear that.
Same here. Yeah, it was like pleasure talking to you. And what I said, we actually try to do it. We actually mean it. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, as you highlighted that point, it's all about the audience. Oh, definitely, it is all about the audience. Whatever we are serving, it's all about to them and to reaching and to the right kind of audience. So uh, it was like wonderful connecting and sharing my thoughts
Mm-hmm.
over the things. And I am excited about your product. I am waiting for the launch. I am waiting for the demos, how things will come up, because how we will utilize it. So I'm keen on it, and I wish you luck and all the best with your launch and everything.